Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another live trading webinar. How are you guys doing today? Did you have a good rest in the weekend? So, Mogiol, good morning, Mr. Theo, and everyone. Good morning, my friend Mogiol. First like of the day from Mogiol. Thank you so much. Maria Julia said, good morning. Oh, let's have a blessed this week. A blast this week. Good morning, Maria, and I totally understand with you. Nick, how are you doing, Nick? Nick said, good morning, everyone. Larry from London, good morning, Larry. Rumen said, good morning, Theo. Good morning, Rumen. How are you doing, my friend? X-Man said, good morning to everyone. And Mladen, hello, Mladen. Good morning. Well, as usual, this webinar is for general information and is not intended to provide any trading, training, or investment advice. And of course, later on, we're going to have the weekly fundamental analysis on the podcast section at Admirals website. And for those who haven't downloaded the mobile application yet, please make sure you do that. So let's just quickly have a look at the today's news events on our Admiral calendar. For those who are new here, guys, I'm using the calendar from our website, admiralmarkets.com, analytics, Forex calendar, and you customize based on your time zone and the days and time and the days you want to check the news. So for today, no major news events based on this calendar beyond the industrial production and the GDP in China. As we see, a forecast was rose on the GDP, but the GDP didn't rise as per the forecast. But of course, they rose much more than the previous time. And tomorrow we will have the Australian dollar to be affected by the RBA meetings. Canadian dollar will report the inflation rate, and the US dollar will report the retail sales. The US will report the retail sales. Of course, it's going to affect the US dollar. Nothing more here. Roland said, good morning, Theo and all. Mogiol has an interesting comment here. Mogiol said, I see you are growing your beard. Okay, don't be very excited. It's not going to last for long. So let's go to the MetaTrader. Come on. Okay, here it is. And let's start with the pound against the US dollar. Last week, we ended up at this resistance area. Now, the market is trying to make a pullback and to fill some of the, let's say, to mitigate some of these positions here, if you prefer. Or it's going to try, where is the drawing tools today? Here it is. So, or it's going to try to make a nice pullback up to this point. If we check the FIB tool from this swing low to this swing high, the 61.8%, it coincides exactly with the previous swing high, which it's a strong point of cluster for traders. They trade this type of mechanic system. But if you check the pullback from this low point here, you can see that the 50% matches with this swing here. So if the price managed to retrace and test this previous swing, you keep in mind that there is a strong also fib area that traders are monitoring closely, and we expect it to have some sort of reaction. For lower time frames, 4-hour charts or 1-hour chart, we see a strong move on the hourly. Shows a strong breakout, to be honest, from the Tokyo and Sydney session. And what do we expect it? Maybe to see some sort of continuation. But I would like to go short from this resistance. However, there is no bearish engulfing formed, so not interested to do anything. Next, Euro US dollar. If we check the weekly chart, although we break and stayed above this support, the next area of resistance, it's this one here, guys. So it's this line on the daily chart now. There is room of opportunity up to this point. We don't know if the price is going to just come from here straight, or it's going to retrace, or it's going to move a little bit and then it's going to retrace. We don't know the way we're going to go from A to B. So we have to be open-minded and prepare for any trend continuation patterns or signals to try and trade it to the upside. Expectation is to see also the pound at some point to push higher. If the euro is going to push higher, and if I go back to the pound, this retracement, maybe it's not going to come all the way here. Also, if we see a strong euro, most likely it's going to be based on the weakness of the US dollar. So both the sterling and the euro, they're going to just push a bit higher. Now, ideally, if we want to sell the sterling, I don't see any downside on that one. It just needs to be supported by valid reasons, like here is a lower low, here is a downward trend line, or here is this, here is that, something to support it, not emotionally just try to sell it just because we see some black candle develop currently. Nice double top on the Australian dollar, US dollar. Inside candle, and the market continues to trade it lower. I don't trade inside candle, guys, so I'm not interested to trade this to the short side, although it looks a nice opportunity. New Zealand US dollar. This higher high with the rejection, it's a fairly good area to, good way to sell on the daily chart. Let's check the fib. If we start from this swing to this swing high, so 61.8%, it's exactly this area of support here. I will definitely like to short all this for the next few days, but I need the right candle pattern, the right catalyst to do that. Next, USD JPY. Pretty much all the USD, all the JPY pairs, they put, most of them, they put bullish engulfing from support. That's a strong opportunity to buy. The thing is, until where we see the market moving and what's the room of opportunity. Now, to find the trend or the support resistance and to find the entry like the engulfings, it's one thing. to check the risk management of the trade or the risk of the trade. That's another thing. Traders, unfortunately, they don't pay attention to the second part. They only pay attention to the first part, and they do it fairly well. But what is going to make you money in trading, guys, it's not to find the opportunity, it's to capitalize on the opportunity and to understand the probabilities. Do I have room for this trade to move to the upside? Do I have some resistance, strong resistance that may affect the price move? If the answer is yes, then we check how much can this move potentially give us until that resistance. Does it work? Is it worthy to take the trade? Because we know that when we buy and there is a resistance, yeah, at some point it's going to break. Or when we sell and there is a support, yeah, we know at some point it's going to break to the downside. Let's go back to the buying opportunity. If we buy the resistance, sorry, if we buy and we expect the price to move beyond the resistance, maybe it's going to make some kind of weird reaction and then it's going to break. We don't know that. That's why if we are lucky in one trade and we manage to get a winning trade, that's awesome. But on the other hand, we do have to really understand that what if I replicate this trade? Am I going to have a positive result most of the time if I replicate it? Is the probabilities in my favor? Honestly, if the answer is yes, then it's worth taking the trade. But if the honest answer is no, we maybe need to scratch the trade. Okay. So saying that, I see this upward trend line breakdown. Maybe it's going to be a resistance area when the price comes and visited this this area here. So I'm not that interested to take this trade. Guys, excuse me for a second. So let's move on. USD Canadian dollar price came at this support here, and it put a bullish engulfing pattern. We do have divergence. Price make a new low, and the indicator failed to make a new low and make a new high. Sorry, make a higher low, not a new high. So that calls a positive or bullish divergences. And if we check the time horizon here, it can be a double bottom, yeah, because it's almost a month apart, this point to this point, and sound like a good opportunity. But the market now, it got caught into a ranging area, and ranging area, maybe we're going to come and revisit this resistance here. The room of opportunity on the daily chart is not in our favor, so it's close to 120 pips, 100 pips. It's less than 1-to-1. So lower time frames, maybe they can help. If someone trades on the 4-hour charts or on the hourly chart, USD Canadian dollar long for me sounds like an ideal pair, because the market didn't move a lot after this impulse move, so buyers are still in control, and we are waiting now to see some sort of continuation. But to capitalize on the move, we need to scroll to the lower time frames in order to find some favorable reward to risk opportunities. Euro JPY, I had an alert a few days ago to try for a bullish engulfing, but it didn't happen. Anyway, this hammer here helped a lot the market to sustain to higher prices, and it's just bounced upward after it retested this line. Now we are still seeing higher highs and higher lows, and maybe we're gonna continue seeing the price moving higher. Same with the Great British Pound. The daily chart shows that it's in an uptrend. Australian dollar JPY, strong insights resistant, as we see from here, and the market is rejecting the Australian dollar. Canadian dollar JPY, same. Canadian dollar very weak, although the rates rose. Canadian dollar didn't follow through. And Kiwi JPY, also it's selling off. Euro Canadian dollar, it broke above this area of resistance, and we see higher highs and higher lows. For swing trading, there is a strong resistance found up here, and we do expect that the market is going to move and sustain the higher prices. So Euro cut, and as we're going to see, maybe pound cut as well, USD cut. We're going to look to try for some bullish opportunities this week. USD CHF, this lower highs and lower lows looks like it came to an end, and we're going to see some sort of retracement based on this market structure. Now there is a strong support, broken support, that can be an inside resistance from this point. And really, I think the market, if it's going to move, if it's going to climb higher, it's going to come to retest this 61.8% fib area. So I will be keeping an eye on that. Euro Kiwi, very messy here, nothing to comment. Euro Pound bounced from this support and is moving higher, which is good. Euro Oz, Pound Oz, pound fairly weak as for today. And Australian dollar also weak. Pound CAD, we can see some continuation to the upside based on the Canadian dollar weakness. Pound New Zealand, again, we have an inside candle here. And Ruben asks, you don't like to trade inside candles, ? Why? I didn't get used to trade the inside candles, that's all. It's not something I like or I don't like. I just didn't back test them well, or maybe they were never into my sort of interested to trade the inside candles, but nothing wrong with that. Very powerful reversal patterns, honestly, and continuation with a trend, absolutely. Guys, apologies. Sometimes I turn off the camera and I put on the mute. It's just I have a running nose this morning, and So next one, Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. Here it's another inside candle, but it's not that resistant. Both Australian dollar and Canadian dollar are weak. So which one is the weaker? Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. We had this long leg doji candle, and the market looks like it's really want to move lower. New Zealand cat, New Zealand weak, cat weak. Which one is the weakest again? Who knows? On the gold, bearish engulfing on Friday. It's not at the strong resistance yet. That's why I expected to see some more push to the upside. WTI, nice bearish engulfing here, very strong bearish engulfing. So I'm expecting the market to push lower if we go on the weekly chart to check for some sort of resistance. That's the previous week resistance. And then the next one is up here. So we have two resistance found at this point. And then we have the previous week low and this low here. But let's not make too much of confusion in the chart. If you guys trade on the 4-hour time frames for swing trading, I will encourage you to go on the weekly chart and find the previous week's candle and mark the high and the low as your strong support and resistance, unless something else obvious it's in there to point. Okay. And yeah, because on the 4-hour time frames, you see this high and this low. If we go on the 4-hour, it's a fairly long distance, so you have a good understanding where your boundaries are. When we trade on the daily chart, though, it's a bit hard to map it with this kind of environment. On the 12-hour time frame, it can be used, the weekly high and low, but preferably it's for the 4-hour charts. I like the monthly highs and low when I trade on the daily chart because it shows more room for the price potentially to move. Silver, finally we broke above this resistance, and now if the market is going to retrace, we're going to find maybe some support there. And the Cooper, as you can see, there is a top here, July 22nd, June 22nd, and July 17, 14. So maybe a double top can be identified. And again, okay, that's not an inside candle, but it's a reversal candle when we see it at resistance. The market is trying to push lower. Bitcoin, we saw on, I think it was Thursday, or when we see all the coins, they just explode, Ripple, ADA especially. And yeah, since then, they didn't sustain that move. So after this move here, I was very bullish and waiting for the breakout, but the breakout didn't happen. Bearish engulfing appeared, and now this consolidation, it looks like it screams more for short. That's Dow Jones. So let's go to the DAX. So here is the high. Here is the low. 4-hour, just trying to push a bit lower. On the hourly, market either it's breaking or it's false breaking, guys. So 5-minute chart looks like a very clear opportunity. I would like to participate. Sell stop below the low here, and a buy stop should be placed above there, but let's see. And on the 5-minute chart, the buy stop it's here, so sell stop it's there, buy stop it's here. Let's see what the market will do, although we still have 1 more minute. And Roland asked, how can I retrieve the morning session in YouTube? I'm struggling in Google. If you go on the channel, on the YouTube channel, let me share it with you. If you go on the YouTube channel, and that's for everyone, you can scroll where it says live. You can see the live section. You click on the live, and you're going to find all the live webinars. Mogiol asked, if I determine currency strength from the charts only. Yes, I do it only from the charts, because if you, something you have to really understand, guys, if you're going to do it from any kind of software or from some applications, they just use mathematics formulas to determine the strength of the currency. So a mathematic formula based on the moving averages or based on some indicators, most of the time it's very lagging information. That's the issue with the mathematic formulas. Okay, so that's why I just prefer to do it manually, and I just do it based on the chart pattern. It's I think the way I show you here, it makes sense, right? So we haven't been triggered in any one of these trades yet. Let's see where the market decided to go this morning. You are very welcome, Mogil. So, been triggered on the down, the short side. I canceled the buy stop order and waiting for the market to move a bit lower. Let's see if we're going to move a bit lower and we close the trade. For those who are new here, we are looking to capture at least 10 points on the London Open, on the DAX move in the morning. So sometimes we capture 15, 20 points, but sometimes we just capture only 10 points and then we close the trades. Here it was a 10 points for those they put the take profit orders. I'm willing to keep it for a while, this trade, because it's a strong bearish engulfing. Let's see how it's going to end up in the next 3 minutes. Guys, for those who are placing take profit orders, you should be out of the trade now. At least that's what it looks like. Yep. For me, I'm still in the trade. I will wait for a little bit more because I see that there is a lot of strength in the market now with the London Open. Maybe I will be wrong, but fine with that today. Okay, guys, at this point, I have to end this webinar. So it was, again, a privilege and honor to host this webinar for you today. I'm sure 10 points for most of you already played out on this trade. I would like to wish to everyone to have a fantastic day ahead. Happy trading for those who are going to intraday and be around for a while. And I'm looking forward to see you again tomorrow at the same time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.